Liverpool have just held the league leaders, and as a Liverpool fan, I will not be complaining. Going away to play against Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium really looked like it was going to be a difficult game for us, but we actually went there and we held our own. Now, it was not fully positive, it was not 100% the best performance we've had. Yes, there were no shots on target. Yes, we didn't have a shot in the first half, or like it was just not the best performance, but altogether, like, we can see that we actually frustrated Arsenal. And in all honesty, I did not go into this game thinking we were going to get results. I thought we could have lost that game and I wouldn't even have been mad, because I've seen the way we played over the last couple of games, and yes, we've been unbeaten, and this game makes it 10 games unbeaten, but I still did not have that much hope, because I see the way Arsenal are playing and they are definitely easily the strongest team in the league this season. There's no doubt about it. So going over to the Emirates and actually getting a 0-0 draw, like keeping a clean sheet as well, as a Liverpool fan, I'm taking that. I'm not even going to complain too much. Yes, it was not perfect, like I said, but altogether, I think that's actually a decent result. So let's talk about how this affects both teams and also the league in general. Let's start with Liverpool. I mean, like I said, clean sheets, but this was a good performance. Yes, the first half was not fantastic. There were just very few opportunities we had in the first half to actually take the game on. But that second half, I don't know what Arne Slot spoke to the players about during halftime. I don't know what he must have said. But this was the first time in quite a long time that I felt like Slot has gotten his tactics right. And to be fair to Slot, like, I've not necessarily been happy with the way we played over the past few games, and I've been one of his biggest critics. But seeing this game today, I don't know what he must have said, but clearly, like, Liverpool came into that second half and played like they were confident, and that's something I haven't seen in a while. And the only thing I can say was the biggest negative for Liverpool in this game was that we didn't get a single shot on target. That is the first time in a very long time. I heard something about 16 years, but don't quote me on that one. But it's not good enough in terms of that. But to be fair to Liverpool as well, we did not even have a centre forward today. You know, Isak is out for a long time, hoping for a speedy recovery. And right now, Ekitike isn't fit as well. So that's the one thing that you can see that Liverpool did not get right today. But in terms of defending, they looked a lot better. They actually frustrated Arsenal, and that's the first time that Arsenal throughout like in a whole game, they looked like they didn't really have the control over this game. In the second half, like, they did not have a single shot on target until additional time. And that must have frustrated them. I cannot imagine how frustrated Arsenal fans must have been, because this was objectively a game they should have gotten 3 points and gotten an 8 point gap over the rest of the chasers. So honestly, I think it was a good performance. I have to say Milos Kerkez was all right. You know, he defended well. Yes, he was dribbled past a number of times, but you know, at the end of the day, like, he did what he had to do, and he was really physical. And I'm starting to see what we signed him for. You know, initially he wasn't playing that well. He looks like he's still a bit rash in his decision making, but now you can tell that this guy is starting to think a bit more clearly and make better decisions. Konate and Van Dijk, they looked solid today. I have to give a lot of credit to them. They actually looked like they were really solid today. Right back, Conor Bradley he was so good today, in my opinion. The only unfortunate thing was, no, the only two unfortunate things were that shot that went off the crossbar. You know, it came from an Arsenal mistake, so I'm not going to say, oh, we created that. It came from an Arsenal mistake, but it just hit the crossbar, and very unfortunate for him. And sadly, that injury looks really bad. I'm not really happy with Martinelli, the way he handled that. And I understand it's football. Like, sometimes you end up making decisions because you're really annoyed. You know, he was on the field, he was injured, and he clearly could have just gone out, because Arsenal were chasing a win towards the end of the game. But look at the state of that injury. He went off on a stretcher. I mean, it's common decency. Yes, you're annoyed in the moment, you're trying to get a win, but like, sometimes you need to sit down and think to yourself, like, this is just football at the end of the day. Football is very important, don't get it twisted, but this is a human being who has just had a terrible injury and you're pushing him off the field. He even bounced the ball off him first and was moving his leg towards him. I'm like, stop that. Like, there's no need for any of that. There really is no need for that. He's injured. You have the ball. You will get the time. The referee is obviously going to stop play. So what's that all about? But yeah, also, I think Szoboszlai was all right. Wirtz was good in his movement. Gakpo is my only problem in this team. I will not even lie to you. Like, I'm going to be real with you guys. I have a lot of problems with Gakpo. But I'm not going to be calling out players today. Like, I think overall it was not a bad game. McAllister was all right. Everybody actually did well today, in my opinion. So I mean, the unbeaten run continues, 10 games unbeaten, and I think right now this must be the time where like Liverpool have to push on and capitalize on this. But let's talk about Arsenal. This is very frustrating for them because a win today would have taken them 8 points clear, and who knows how good an 8 point gap will be for them when they're trying to win the league for the first time in a very long time. You know, we've seen them come second 3 seasons in a row, and you know that this time there's that strength, there's that vigor, there's that what's the word? I'm trying to look for it. They know that this is probably the best time. Every other team is slipping up, so you want to get a gap you want to get as much of a gap as possible. So clearly, like, not getting 3 points today was not good for them. I think every Arsenal fan came into this game confident because yes, as much as Liverpool had been unbeaten for 9 games before this, you have to say that Liverpool were not necessarily playing good football. So as an Arsenal fan, this was very, very frustrating. You know, the fact that they were also not playing anything really well in the second half. Like, there was hardly a chance that they even got till the last few minutes. So you have to say that that's not a very good result for Arsenal. And, you know, they've given hope to Man City because, you know, like I said in some of my other videos, Man City are that team that could just flip the switch and go ahead and win so many games. Yes, they've drawn their last 3, but it's still Man City, and you still have to give them some credit. I don't think they'll be able to do it this time. They're showing weaknesses. They now have injuries at the back as well. So I'm not sure this one is their time. I think Arsenal will still have enough, especially with the squad depth that they have, to go ahead and still win the league. I do not want it to happen still. So if Man City, you can do a miracle, please do it. And if Arsenal can drop points, do it, please. But in all honesty, and if we're being realistic, I still think Arsenal have what it takes to go ahead and win this league. For Villa as well, I don't know if Villa really think that they're going to fight for this title, but they're right now in the same position as Man City, so they still have the same number of points. So there's still something for Villa, and Arsenal fans will not be happy about that. But let's be realistic: 6 points clear with 21 games played. There's still a lot of time. So you never really can tell. They didn't lose, so that's like the most important thing at the end of the day. But they have some games now outside of the Premier League. I think they have an EFL game and an FA Cup game, so something ahead for them, and they can come back to the Premier League in a couple of days and, you know, fight back for the next 3 points and try and see if they can keep the pace and put more pressure on the chasers now. But altogether, I'm really happy with this result. Like, a 0-0 draw for Liverpool is not necessarily fantastic, but right now, in the state of how things have been, remembering how we had 12 games and lost 9 at some point this season, to be 10 games unbeaten, I would take it. It shows that we're steadying the ship. Maybe Slot is getting the tactics a bit better. I just need to see something now go forward. Like, yeah, we've steadied the ship, but now it's time to push on and try and be more aggressive and try to win more games. I know that we're playing at home next against Burnley, so that could be the perfect opportunity. I don't know if we'll be able to take it, but I really hope we are able to take it, because I know Burnley frustrated us away when we had to wait for a 95th minute penalty from a handball, which was very, very, you know, lucky in my opinion. So can we actually capitalize on this and actually go and get a win this time? I hope that's what happens. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, please like, please share, please subscribe as well. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow this channel and see what this can do for me. So I'll see you guys in the next one. If you still want to hang around, there's probably a video here that you might want to watch. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.